The next matter has to do with nomination papers. The first is Doreen L. Albright, Representative, District 25.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Madam Chairwoman.
Have you filed an entry?
I have, Your Honor, I have. Brandon Bell for the petitioner, or the objector, I should say, Doreen Albright, and here as chairperson of the Rhode Republican Party, and as you kind of know me a little bit, as an attorney as well. If I may, I can make this presentation extremely simple. I have the papers from West Warwick and Coventry. This was House District 25. I have those papers, and I'm pretty sure they've been submitted to the board as an exhibit.
On the other, I also filed an objection to the appeal, so I don't know if I should come to the board now, or I should allow this to proceed.
One at a time, I think, but do we have a record here? Do we have the actual, we have the papers here. These should be the, Mr. Bell, are you saying you have original documents?
I do not have original documents.
Right.
I have copies.
That's what I assumed. Okay, so we should mark the signatures in question as an exhibit for the board. This will be Exhibit A. How many pages for?
I had before me 3 pages, 2 from two from Coventry and 1 from West Warwick, which, as the commissioners know, is comprised of House 25.
We have, in the packet, we have the letter from Miranda Bell, a memo to the Secretary of State from Thomas Norris, and I think that's all we have right now. Mr. Norris, I believe, is the individual in the green shirt.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I do not have Mr. Norris' objection, but if we'll handle these as 2 separate matters, I will just handle what I have filed, if that's okay with you.
That one first.
Okay, fantastic, thank you. So with regard to these three forms, what I would submit is, if you look at the back of each form, the back of each form has a certification of the Board of Canvassers, the respective Board of Canvassers, 2 from Coventry and 1 from West Warwick. And as a matter of simple math, the first one that I have in front of me, which had the signature, Christopher Dearlove was the first signer on the paper from Coventry.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
How many did she get qualified?
She had qualified 49.
Okay.
And
how many do you think were disqualified incorrectly?
Your Honor, if it's okay, what I'd like to say is, if it's okay not to take that angle, what I'd like to say is that these 3 forms equal 50. And I don't even have to go through signatures.
We should start first, just as far as the number, is that, we should have a record on that. Do we actually know how many were actually affirmed?
50 are required.
Right. How many, do we have a record from the canvassing authorities as to how many were?
Between West Warwick and Coventry, they certified 49.
49, okay.
And so my first question would be, I have one here that has 14 certified on the back, one here that has 14 certified on the back, and one here that has 22. 14 plus 14 is 28, plus 22 is 50. I went to law school, and I'm pretty sure I got that right.
Because we don't know math.
That's true, Your Honor. That's true.
What do those papers reflect?
The staff did, when we went through that, we did see that West Warwick and Coventry did verify 49 signatures. That there was one nomination paper from West Warwick, in which the West Warwick Board of Canvassers threw out disqualified a signature for Kerri McNally. We did the research. Kerri McNally actually was a registered voter since 1999 under the name of Karen Paiva. In 2014, when she voted, she actually changed her name to McNally. But it was so that's where she is a registered voter in West Warwick at the same address that she has been living at when she registered in 1999. So the staff review does indicate that there was no addition.
So staff review is that there were 50.
That's
Well, that
I'll rest.
That document should be marked as Exhibit B. The entirety of those documents that show the additional person being a valid voter.
We also need to hear from Mr. Norris.
All right, so Mr. Bell, his matter is now done.
Yes, and if I may just have a copy of Mr. Norris so I can follow along if you do have it.
I don't have a copy of mine.
Does the board-
I may be able to listen to it, that's fine.
Would you
The
let
board
me
should-
use the microphone too, please?
George should have a motion with respect to accepting the 50 signatures as presented by the staff in Exhibits A and
Do
B.
we have a motion to that effect?
Madam Chair, I will move based upon the determination by our staff here at the Board of Elections that there were in fact 50 qualified signatures on the papers that she submitted, subject to any further challenge by her opponent.
I second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
By saying aye, those opposed? Motion carried.
Thomas Norris, candidate for District 25. So on my objection to the appeal that I filed, it's very simple. Basic math, yes, 50 is 50. But I would contend that one of the signatures that was counted on one of the forms, it's 7605, form number 3, filed with the town of Coventry. It's certified as 14 signatures on the back, but in fact there are only 13 valid signatures. There's an addition error by the town of Coventry in that, and in fact number 15, to my knowledge, is not a good signature based on the voting list that I have that was provided to me when I did my nomination paperwork. So in checking further, I found nowhere that number 15, although it received an approval to be a valid signature, is not a listed voter, registered voter in Coventry at 25 Greenwood Avenue. So that error would put them back to 49.
Mr. Oposa, do you have? Now, was your appeal, was that made to the local board of canvassers?
It was not. I was told that I had to drop it off at the Secretary of State's office yesterday before 4 o'clock, which I did, and it was timestamped.
I would ask counsel, this individual did not file an objection to the determination by the board of canvassers. He filed an objection to the appeal. The appeal was based upon the erroneous numbers. The one signature that was turned out to be correct. Does he now have standing to independently object to other names that weren't raised at the time? Did you raise these issues with the board of canvassers?
I did not, because I was not aware that there were not.
So he didn't raise these issues, he didn't raise these series of questions with the board of canvassers, and he's only objecting to the appeal. And we've already made a determination on the one signature that the candidate, Mr. Bell's candidate, was.
There's no record of you objecting to this signature at the time? Were you present when the signatures were reviewed?
I was not present when the signatures were reviewed. No, I was not.
Were you given notice of the proceeding?
I was given notice of
The review of the signatures at the local level?
No, I did not receive notice. There were 49 at the time based on the paperwork that was submitted, so I had no reason to object at that time to the...
Were you aware that the signatures were being reviewed by the local board?
I was aware that they were reviewing them on a daily basis as they came in, yes. As mine were. Again, they submitted 49, and 49 was the count that I received, or I was told that they had at the end of the business day at the time that the paperwork was filed, there was no reason for me to chase with an objection to 49 because the numbers weren't there.
So you relied upon the Board of Canvassers' determination that she didn't have 50 signatures and did not therefore challenge any of her other signatures,
Correct.
which you had an opportunity to do if you wanted. So you were, in a sense, relying upon your believed accuracy of the Board of Canvassers' determination, which she only had 49. You knew that that was subject to possible review.
Correct.
Mr. Reposo.
On the certification sheet that was actually done by the town of Coventry, where Mr. Richard, number 15 on that sheet, was checked off as a valid voter, when they certified the name, they certified it as voter not found, and he was not counted.
He was not counted?
He was not counted.
So what document are you looking at, Mr. Reposo, just so we have a record?
The document, Form 3 from the town of Coventry.
Is that before the board, just so we,
I can be.
okay, but it's not, so we should mark that as an exhibit, just so you have a record of what Mr. Reposo is.
So that even without that signature, there were 50 signatures?
Without that, yes, because of the one we found, it changed 49 to 50. And I can show you that check mark.
And may I have an opportunity to view that exhibit as well when you're done?
Look at number 15, it will say that even though it was on the form, if you look at number 15, there's a check mark. That report there says.
Yes.
If there's anything you want to say on the record, we should just, the stenographer cannot hear the conversation, so, yeah, we won't have a record of it.
Just looking at the exhibit.
Madam Chair, for the record, I just want to put on that our executive director showed us the paperwork and showed us and explained to us which signature was
Should we supplement the record if that's what you, I agree, it's just that we just want to make sure the parties can see.
right. So that's for their reviewing it now. For the same sort of explanation in terms of what her signature was and what the number was.
Plus 22, plus 15.
15
Yeah, 13.
plus 22 plus 15
Plus
is
22.
50.
It's 39.
Do we mark that, is that, Bob, do we mark that as an exhibit? The one that you
I
just?
did, I
Okay.
marked it exhibit C.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have an agreement here.
Does the board have any questions of any?
Oh, sorry.
I would move we reverse the decision. West Warwick Florida campus is permitted all right.
Mr. Pierce moved, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Judge Erickson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the ayes have it.